Heather and I were on our way up to Hudson, Wisconsin to go see Kyle. Kyle is the son of Cindy Meyer, and that's where the entire story of Nebraska Transition College started. We were going up there to just visit, but also talk about the development plan for Nebraska Transition College. So I was at a rest stop when I received a call from Mick, and he actually contacted me through Heather. She's the one who I got the phone call, and she handed the phone up to me, and he told me the news, and I was speechless, and that's not easy for me. I mean, I'm a salesman. I didn't know about the award. I couldn't imagine who would have nominated me. It was very humbling. Of course, I'm sure you hear that all the time. But, you know, at the same time, you know, what is it that I've done to deserve the award? Well, I mean, I know you roll your eyes at that, but let's look at, I mean, you know, my first client of my hospice service, you know, so I serve hospice clients, Buckley and I. Buckley is my golden retriever, he's 8.5, and we went through therapy dog training 4.5 years ago, and we are dedicated hospice service, and that's what we do every Monday morning. And it depends, the number of clients, we might have 1 or 3 or 4, but I scheduled my holidays around that Monday. We just try not to miss it, because we get so much more from our clients than we ever give. That's how I feel. But our first client, we were talking about time, the concept of time, and you know, talking about the book that Mary Callahan had written about, you know, the concept of time and the second hand on the clock. And my client, she was talking about her diagnosis, and she looked at that second hand, and she, upon her diagnosis, didn't really know that second hand existed. But it was only after that she received that diagnosis that she really started to pay attention to it. And that really hit me pretty hard. And before I left, she looked at me and she said, "What are you doing with your seconds?" I've often tried to put it this way. So if I give you a debit card, if we spent our money, if we spent our seconds the same way we spend our money, so if I was in control of that and I gave you a debit card, and on that debit card had all of the seconds in your life, and you are going to spend those seconds however you want, but what you don't know is how many seconds are on that card. Does it change how you spend those seconds? You know, because every conversation we have is sacred. You know, if I'm talking to you right now, you're giving me some of your seconds, I'm giving you some of mine. But we don't often think that way. We sort of take those things for granted. I don't think that way anymore. Not since the first hand I held serving hospice clients. That's changed everything that I am down to my core. Nebraska Transition College, the entire mission is to serve individuals in the autism spectrum or other learning difference and help them become interdependent through employment and community support systems. So I'll use this example. Last year, there were 1,200 kids who applied for assistance through Department of Health and Human Services. And that's to meet support needs that they might have after graduating high school. 425 of those kids were denied service because they're too high functioning. Upon receiving notice that you're denied those services for these students, typically that's the last stand. That's the last hope that these students have to find something meaningful after high school. And so Nebraska Transition College exists to serve those students, to help them find their way, to fulfill their potential, so that they can have the same opportunities you and I have, a neurotypical person, through choice, through the freedoms that you and I experience on a daily basis, through employment, or some sort of post-secondary opportunity, educational experience, employment, whatever it is. Oh, I did not know that. Oh man, that's amazing.
I call her Special K.
Yeah, Special K. You know, and that's so interesting because Kelly and I follow each other. We were in the same LL class, Leadership Lincoln class, and we follow each other on Facebook. I follow all of her travels, and I would have never guessed. I would have never guessed Kelly. I'm just so humbled. I didn't expect this at all. And you know, as I've been pondering this interview, I really I don't know. Because again, you know, we are a long way away at Nebraska Transition College from being where we need to be, and there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that this is actually going to work. But my philosophy in getting to the realization of the Nebraska Transition College dream is that every day, every single day, we take a step forward. That's it, just one tiny little step forward. I don't care if it's an email, if it's a phone call, if it's a meeting. And even those days where we take 2 steps back, I still count it if we've taken 1 step forward.